Let me tell you something. It just doesn't stop. It just keeps on coming. It was recently exposed and been put out here on the internet that the New York Times, and you know, the New York Times is extremely left leaning. The New York Times own consultant who was researching into Kamala Harris's book that she put out because she had accusations of plagiarism. So, of course, the New York Times consultant goes to check it out, eagerly looking to be able to dispel the rumors and put it all to bed and tell everybody, nope, that is 100% her story. Well, guess what happened? The consultant, the New York Times plagiarism consultant, says that the allegations are more serious than I thought. Let's check out the article here from the Telegraph. It says Jonathan Bailey reverses his comments after Republicans criticize newspaper for failing to scrutinize accusations against Vice President Harris. So it was brought to light about this plagiarism accusations, but just like everything else when it comes to Democrats, that mainstream media and mainstream media outlets, they just try to sweep it under the rug. Let it be somebody that belongs to the political party that starts with an R. Republicans, oh my God. They could have two words in there. Just like a one phrase from someone else and they didn't list the source. Oh my God, it'll be all over the joint. But with this, they swept it under. So luckily, the persistence forced the New York Times consultant to dig into it, Jonathan Bailey. Let's see what they had to say. Kamala Harris's plagiarism is more serious than it first seemed. A New York Times expert has admitted after he initially downplayed more than a dozen examples of copied paragraphs in her book. Ms. Harris was on Monday accused of plagiarizing several sections of her book on crime, including a story once told by Martin Luther King Jr. More than a dozen sections of the book were apparently copied from various sources, including Wikipedia. Come on. Wikipedia, Kamala, come on. But the New York Times downplayed the story, focusing on the conservative academic Christopher Rufo, who brought it to light. The newspaper's headline, Conservative Activist Seizes on Passages from Harris's Book, was criticized by Republicans for failing to scrutinize the allegation. So they attacked the person that was making the allegations rather than digging into the actual allegations. That's what they do. That is what these left-wing outlets do. It's like Trump will have somebody try to pew-pew with his head, and they'll say, well, hey, you did that. He did that to himself. So it has nothing to do with the names that he's called on all of these outlets for years, and these exaggerated claims, and in most cases, flat out lies. Did you know that in 2016 that Obama made it legal for really, he signed it in 2011, but it took account in 2016 that it became legal for media outlets to just flat out lie and make up stories. Don't believe what I'm saying. Research it. Go to Google and just look up. Did Obama legalize propaganda? Watch what comes. It'll blow your mind. Or did he legalize media to lie? And ironically, did it 2016 when who was taking office? Let me get back to it. So the story quoted Jonathan Bailey, a plagiarism expert, who said the extracts were an error and not an intent to defraud. So you got the so-called consultant of the New York Times speaking up for Kamala Harris, and she didn't mean to plagiarize that many times. It was a mistake, a little bit of a mistake. That's all it was. I'm in her. I can be in her head. And I can think for what she was thinking when they were putting this together, and it's nothing. It's nothing. That's BS. So it said, the story goes, the plagiarism who said the extracts were an error and not an intent to defraud. And the Harris campaign, which accused Mr. Rufo of launching an attack on the vice president for political reasons. Bailey did not have chance for full review. The Harris campaign said the allegations were a result of right-wing operatives becoming desperate in the face of the vice president's support, waning support. James Singer, a spokesman, said, this is a book that's been out for 15 years. And the vice president clearly cited sources and statistics and footnotes and endnotes throughout. However, writing on his blog, Plagiarism Today on Thursday, Mr. Bailey said that he had only been given 5 examples of the alleged plagiarism by the New York Times, and that he had not had a chance to review the full report accusing her of stealing passages from other sources. In a blog post, he said the plagiarism was more serious than he first realized and reversed his comments. He wrote, at the time, I was unaware of a full dossier with additional allegations, which led some to accuse the New York Times of withholding that information from me. However, the article clearly stated that it was my initial reaction to those allegations, not a complete analysis. So he also said that 2 passages, which are alleged to have been copied from Wikipedia, were, in his mind, plagiarized writing. Harris's book contained roughly 2 paragraphs copied from Wikipedia without citation. To be clear, that is plagiarism. It's compounded by the fact that Wikipedia is typically not seen as a reliable source. And according to Weber, there was an error in the information that was copied from Wikipedia and put in her book. Now, you got 12 different times in this book that she put out that was plagiarized, even stealing from Dr. King. The same woman that doesn't want to answer questions, that filibusters everything, now has been caught allegedly plagiarizing her own book. What else has to be done for people to realize this woman is a phony? And it's not about her being a woman. As a black man, I would be proud if we had a qualified African-American woman that was running as a serious candidate. And if she had good policies, I would support it. But I don't care what color the person is or what gender they are. It's what is their record, and then what is their plan and policies? Can they articulate it? For Kamala Harris to tell people, hey, you can go read it on my website. What? If you supposedly put it together, you should be able to tell it to us, summarize it for us in seconds. At least on some level, at least on a 30,000 foot elevated view level. But damn, you give nothing. And then comes to find out you're plagiarizing. Y'all want to know something else? I'm going to let you in on something else. Did you know that Kamala Harris's economic policy that she is touting, she literally copied it from Joe Biden? And guess who it was written by? BlackRock. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And I'm going to end the video on that. So we got the presidential candidate who was installed after performing a coup on her boss, who gave her an opportunity to join his ticket, who has gaslit us, who refused to do interviews at first if she realized she couldn't do the Joe Biden basement strategy, wasn't going to work. She don't have a pandemic to use, and she's not 100 years old. So they put her out there on every easy left-wing friendly outlet they could, even on The View. On The View, they gave her a chance. What would you do different than Joe Biden? Said, there's not anything I can think of that I would do. Tanked, goes on Fox News and just loses her mind, kicks out at a rally, goes off on a rally goer who says Jesus is Lord.
And it is a fight for freedom. For freedom. Like the fundamental... Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
Wants to give inmates free sex changes, and now plagiarizing her own book. You know what? But every day, she is the content gift that keeps on giving. So, hey, listen, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button for me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscription bell. And after you hit subscribe, you'll see a bell. Click that bell. That's for notification. And then you'll see several options. If you hit notification, select all. So that way, when I put out new videos, you'll be updated. You'll be notified. And other than that, if you like it, share the video. You know, one thing I'll never ask for is a cash app, super chat, none of that crap. But a like is revenue. You know, that does help, and it helps share the video with other people. So let's continue on. Let's not let up. We got a few weeks left. This is time to put the pedal to the metal. I'm Brian Maxwell. I look forward to seeing you at the top. And then thanks again for watching. Peace.